Have you ever walked away from someone feeling completely drained, tired, or even confused, and you didn't know why? It's like they didn't just take your time, they took your energy. What if I told you that some people are harvesting your energy on purpose? That's right. They may smile, compliment you, or act like they care, but deep down they're feeding off your light. These people are called narcissists, and they are drawn to powerful souls like you, especially if you're a chosen one. Now, before you think this is just another random video, stay with me. This could be the most important message you hear today, maybe even in your whole spiritual journey. I'm going to show you how narcissists quietly steal your energy, how to spot their tricks, and most importantly, how to protect your energy forever. Because your energy is sacred, it's powerful, and once you learn how to protect it, nobody will ever be able to steal it again. So stick around till the end. I've got something powerful to share with you that could change how you deal with people forever. And hey, if you're someone who's been through this, you're not alone. We've built a loving, strong, and supportive community right here. Join us by subscribing, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and showing love to others going through the same thing. Let's walk this journey together, because chosen ones, it's time to stop being drained. It's time to rise. Some people have a way of making others feel weak or tired without even touching them. You might be around someone, and after just a short talk, you feel heavy, confused, or like your energy is gone. It's not because you did anything wrong, it's because of how their energy works with yours. Some people are not just being rude or annoying, they're doing something much deeper, even if they don't know it themselves. There are people in this world who feed off the energy of others. These people are often called narcissists. They look normal, they smile, laugh, and sometimes even act kind. But behind that smile, they have one goal: to stay in control and keep getting the attention and energy they want. They don't feel full or happy inside, so they take energy from others to feel better about themselves. Here's the shocking part. They are often attracted to kind-hearted people, the ones who care, the ones who listen, and the ones who give love freely. These people, maybe just like you, are often called chosen ones. Their light shines so bright that it draws people in, but it also makes them a target. Think about it like this: you're a lamp lighting up a dark room. A lamp doesn't chase the darkness just surrounds it, trying to steal that light. Narcissists come to you like moths to a flame, not to love you, but to use your energy as their power source. They may not scream or fight. Instead, they ask for help over and over. They make you feel guilty, they lie, or they act like victims. All of this slowly drains your spirit. And before you even realize it, you feel tired, sad, or lost. And they feel strong. But once you understand this, everything changes. You begin to see people differently. You start to notice who fills your energy and who empties it. This is the first step toward healing and taking your power back. And it all starts with awareness. Imagine there's a hidden battlefield all around us, not made of swords or guns, but of energy. In this unseen war, energy acts like money. It's the currency everyone uses to survive and grow, especially in the spiritual realm. When people talk about feeling happy or motivated, that's actually energy moving through us. But when someone absorbs that light and joy from you like a plant sucking water from the soil, it's a sign of something deeper at play. Narcissists are masters in this hidden war. They don't just twist your feelings, they tap into a spiritual flow of your energy. From the outside, they might seem charming or friendly. They can ask for your help, tell captivating stories, or laugh at all the right moments. But underneath all that is a different intention. They want to feed on your energy. They do this because inside they feel empty or insecure. Your inner light becomes their source of fuel. This energy harvesting is strongest when the target is kind and empathic, people who feel deeply and care for others. Because empathic souls are generous with their love, positivity, and understanding, they shine brightly. It's this glow that draws narcissi like a bait-drawing fish, like bees to flowers, but instead of helping pollinate or bring sweetness, the narcissist takes that energy, often without even realizing it. This energy exchange isn't always obvious. It might show up as exhaustion after talking to them, feeling sad or confused even when nothing bad happened, or a sudden loss of motivation. You lose your spark, your spiritual battery runs low. But there's a powerful takeaway. Once you realize this, hidden war exists. You begin to reclaim your energy. Seeing the stealthy way they tap into your spiritual currency helps you understand that protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's survival. You don't need to become hard or cold, just aware and skilled at guarding your inner resources. As you step into this awareness, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more in control of your energy. You'll be able to give when you want to without letting others take too much. That balance is your shield, and in the hidden spiritual war, it's your strongest defense. Not everyone is the same. Some people walk into a room and carry a special kind of light. Not the kind you can see with your eyes, but the kind you feel in your heart. These are the people who lift others up, who sense pain even when it's hidden, and who have a deep desire to make the world better. These people are often called chosen ones, not because they are perfect, but because they are connected to something bigger than themselves. They carry divine energy, a higher purpose, and a strong spiritual mission. And that's exactly why narcissists are drawn to them. Narcissists don't target just anyone. They're like energy hunters. They're always looking for someone who shines brightly, someone full of life, love, and purpose. That's because narcissists deep down are empty inside. They may wear a mask of confidence, but it's just that, a mask. Inside they feel lost, disconnected, and hungry for something real. When a narcissist meets a chosen one, it's like a moth finding a flame. They feel that spiritual light and want it for themselves, but instead of growing from it, they try to steal it. They feed off the energy, kindness, and compassion of the chosen one to keep their false image alive. Chosen ones are naturally giving. They forgive, understand, and love deeply. And because of this, they often don't see the danger until it's too late. But here's the truth. Your light is powerful. That's why you're a target, not because you're weak, but because you're strong. So strong, in fact, that people who live in darkness can't help but come closer. But once you understand this pattern, you begin to protect your energy. You learn that not everyone deserves access to your light. And when you stand in that truth, narcissists can no longer feed off you. Instead, you shine even brighter. Not just for yourself, but for the world you're here to help. Narcissists don't just hurt people randomly. They follow a sneaky, repeated pattern called the harvest cycle. This cycle is not about love, care, or connection. It's about control and feeding off your emotions. From the outside, it might look like a normal relationship, but deep inside, they're using every moment to take your energy, especially the emotional highs and lows they create. Here's how the cycle works. 1. Love bombing. At the start, the narcissist makes you feel like the most special person in the world. They shower you with compliments, attention, gifts, or deep conversations. It feels magical, like you finally found someone who truly sees and values you. But this stage is not love, it's bait. They're hooking into your emotions, drawing you in, and learning what you need so they can use it later. 2. Devaluing. Once they know they have you emotionally connected, the energy harvesting begins. Suddenly, they change. They might start criticizing you, ignoring your feelings, comparing you to others, or playing mind games. You start feeling confused, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? But you didn't do anything. They just want to see you react. Because your pain, your confusion, your need for answers gives them energy. The more you try to fix things or win them back, the more they feed off the chaos they caused. 3. Discarding. After they've drained your energy, they suddenly walk away, sometimes without warning. They may ghost you, blame you, or act cold and distant. It's heartbreaking. But here's the thing, they only leave so they can come back later if they want more energy. This discard stage leaves you feeling low, broken, and questioning your worth. And then, the cycle may begin again. This harvest cycle isn't just toxic, it's spiritual theft. They thrive on the emotional roller coaster because each rise and fall you feel releases energy that they absorb. Once you recognize this pattern, you can step out of it. You can protect your energy, set strong boundaries, and no longer be food for someone else's broken spirit. You were never the problem. You were the source. And now it's time to stop the harvest. Narcissists have a secret weapon they often use without people even noticing. It's called mirroring. It might seem sweet at first. They laugh at your jokes, like the same music, believe in the same things, and even copy your habits or style. You might think, wow, we're so alike, or I've never connected with someone this fast. But in reality, this isn't love or true connection. It's a trick, it's a mirror trick. Narcissists don't copy you because they admire you. They mirror your personality because they want access to your soul energy. You shine in a way they don't. You have a light they don't carry. So they create a fake version of themselves that reflects you. Your values, your dreams, your kindness. Why? Because they know if they become a mirror of your spirit, you'll let your guard down. And once you do, they can start drawing energy from you. Think about it this way. You're a lamp glowing in a dark room. Narcissists don't come with their own light. So instead, they hold up a mirror to reflect your glow back at you. It feels comforting, warm, familiar. But it's not real, it's your own light you're falling in love with, and that's the danger, and they wear your light like a mask. This mirror trick works especially well on empathic or spiritual people, the chosen ones. You see goodness in others because you carry it within yourself. When someone reflects that goodness back, you believe you've found a soulmate or a kindred spirit. But what you've really found is someone skilled in emotional camouflage. Once they have your trust, they slowly stop pretending. The kind face fades, the compliments turn into criticisms, the connection becomes confusion, and you're left wondering where the person you first met went. But here's the truth, that person never existed. It was a mirror, a reflection of your own soul, temporarily borrowed to pull you into their trap. They do this because they need your energy, not just your love, but your spiritual power, your hope, your inspiration, your belief in goodness. These are powerful forces. When they mirror you, they're trying to tap into that power, and when they finally show their true self, it's already too late. You've bonded with them, not realizing you were bonding with yourself, just dressed in their disguise. But once you understand the mirror trick, you start seeing patterns. You learn to ask, is this person truly like me, or are they simply reflecting me? Real love feels steady and balanced. Mirroring, on the other hand, feels fast, intense, and too perfect. That's your warning sign. Protect your light. Your soul is sacred, and your energy is not something anyone should steal. Narcissists may copy your light, but they can never create their own. Only you have that power. Sometimes it's not obvious that someone is draining your energy. There may be no yelling, no clear abuse, just a slow, silent leak of your light. But your body, mind, and soul always know. If you've been feeling off and can't explain why, These might be signs that you're being energetically harvested by a narcissist or toxic presence. 1. Mental exhaustion that doesn't make sense. You wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. Simple tasks feel overwhelming. Being around a certain person leaves you drained, like you've run an emotional marathon. You're not sick or lazy. Your energy is being stolen. Narcissists feed off your focus, attention, and emotions, leaving you mentally empty. 2. Feeling guilty for no reason. Suddenly, you find yourself apologizing all the time. You feel guilty for setting boundaries, for asking for space, or even for having emotions. This guilt wasn't always there. It's planted by someone who subtly makes you feel like you're always wrong, bad, or selfish. That guilt keeps you small and makes your energy easier to steal. 3. Constant confusion and second-guessing yourself. You used to trust your gut, but now you're always unsure. You can't remember what's real anymore. You start doubting your feelings, your choices, and even your memories. Narcissists create confusion on purpose. It keeps you in a fog where they can control your thoughts and take your light without resistance. 4. Losing touch with your inner voice. One of the biggest signs of energy harvesting is when you can no longer hear your intuition. That inner voice that once guided you feels silent. You start relying on the narcissist to tell you what's right, what's real, and who you are. That's how they gain full access to your soul energy, by replacing your voice with theirs. 5. You're shrinking. You stop dreaming. You stop shining. You make yourself smaller to avoid their judgment. You used to have joy, purpose, and a spark. Now you just try to survive. This shrinking is not a personality change. It's a symptom of spiritual starvation. These signs aren't just emotional or mental. They're spiritual warnings. If this feels familiar, it means your soul is crying out for protection. Most people don't realize this, but your energy isn't just powerful. It's life-giving. To those who live in darkness, your light is survival. This is the shocking truth. Your energy feeds entire false worlds. That's why narcissists are drawn to you like moths to a flame. Without your love, your attention, your emotional reactions, their carefully crafted image falls apart. It was never real. It only stood because you were holding it up. You see, narcissists don't have a solid sense of self. Deep down, they feel empty, like hollow shells. So they create a fake version of themselves, charming, confident, magnetic. But that version needs fuel to survive, and that fuel is you. They look for those with pure, bright, divine energy, the chosen ones, the empaths, the healers. Why? Because your presence fills rooms, your smile lifts hearts, your intuition speaks truth, you're deeply connected to life, spirit, and the unseen. When you love someone, it's powerful. When you care, you give fully. And narcissists know this. That's why they don't just want your attention, they want your essence. Every compliment you give them, every tear you cry over them, every ounce of emotional energy you pour out, all of it becomes food. Not physical food, but spiritual energy that keeps their illusion alive. When they're around you, they feel whole, but only for a while. Because it's not healing, it's feeding. And no matter how much you give, it's never enough. The moment you stop feeding them, the moment you go quiet, go no contact, or choose self-love, you'll see their mask crack. They'll rage, guilt trip, play victim, or disappear. Why? Because without you, they collapse. They can't survive without energy they didn't earn. They never wanted love. They wanted supply. But here's your power. You don't need them. You never did. They needed you. Your energy is sacred. It doesn't belong in toxic hands. You weren't created to keep someone else's illusion alive. You were created to light up the world in your own truth. And once you stop feeding what's false, you begin to rise in what's real. Narcissists are not just masters of charm. They are masters of disguise, and one of their most dangerous tricks is wearing the victim mask. At first, they may seem bold, confident, even powerful, but once they've drawn you in, they slowly begin to change. One day, the strong mask drops, and in its place appears someone fragile, wounded, broken. They cry, they talk about their trauma, they say, "No one ever understood me except you." And that's where the trap begins. You see, narcissists know something very deep about you. You care, you're empathic, you feel people's pain, and you want to help. You don't run from wounded souls, you stay, you comfort, you heal. And that's exactly what they want. But here's the chilling truth. This is not their real pain. It's not shared to grow or connect. It's a tool, a mask, a performance designed to make you feel responsible for them. When they play the victim, they flip the script. Suddenly they're not the one causing damage. They're the one being damaged. And you, the one being hurt, become the aggressor if you try to pull away. It's emotional blackmail in disguise. They say, "After everything I told you, how could you leave me now? I thought you were different. You're just like everyone else who gave up on me." These lines don't come from the heart. They come from control. By appearing helpless, they bind your spirit to theirs. You begin to see yourself as their only hope, their savior, their anchor. You ignore your own pain, silence your intuition, and put their needs first, again and again. And each time you do, they drink deeper from your soul. This victim mask also helps them escape accountability. When they hurt you, they flip it. "I didn't mean it. I was just triggered. I have trauma." Suddenly, you're comforting them after they wounded you. That's the power of the illusion, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. You realize that real healing doesn't demand sacrifice. Real victims don't drain others. They seek help with humility. Narcissists, on the other hand, weaponize pain to steal light. Your empathy is not a weakness, but without boundaries, it becomes a cage. And the more you pour into someone who refuses to grow, the more you shrink. Protect your light. Their pain isn't your prison. Let go of the illusion and set your soul free. They create chaos not just to control you, but to delay your awakening, your mission, your elevation. Narcissists don't just damage relationships. They interfere with destiny. They're not just in your life to break your heart. They're sent to stall your soul. Their goal? To keep you stuck in cycles of doubt, confusion, and emotional survival. Because the longer you stay distracted, the longer you stay disconnected from your purpose. You were born with a light, a divine mission, a powerful spiritual energy. Deep down, you feel it. You dream differently. You sense things before they happen. You've always known you were here for more. But narcissists sense that too. And that's why they target you. They don't want to see you rise. Because when you do, their illusion fades. So instead, they create chaos. They fill your mind with arguments, drama, guilt, and emotional traps. They keep you in survival mode. You're so busy explaining yourself, defending your truth, or cleaning up the mess they made that you don't have the time, energy, or clarity to focus on your soul. Ever wonder why, when you're around them, your creativity dies? Why you stop praying, stop meditating, stop dreaming? It's not an accident. They block your flow on purpose. They will mock your beliefs, distract you with crises, keep you doubting your gifts. Every time you try to grow, they pull you back down, like spiritual gravity in human form, because the moment you awaken fully, they lose all power. But here's the truth they fear most. Once you remember who you are, once you stop reacting and start realigning, their chaos has no hold on you. Your peace becomes your shield. Your awareness becomes your weapon. Spiritual growth requires space, silence, clarity. And that's exactly what they steal. They don't want you to heal, because healed, you can't be controlled. But you're waking up now, you're seeing through the noise, and every time you choose stillness over reaction, truth over drama, purpose over pain, you rise. The chains break, and the mission resumes. You were never broken, just buried under their noise. Now it's time to grow, beyond the chaos, beyond the control, into the divine calling you were always meant to fulfill. These tools don't just shield you temporarily, they fortify your soul for life. When you're surrounded by energy vampires, manipulators, or spiritual thieves like narcissists, it's not enough to think positive or walk away. That helps, but true protection must go deeper, into the spiritual realm where the real battle is happening. Here are the real permanent tools that chosen ones have used for centuries to guard their divine energy and walk in unstoppable power. Prayer. This isn't about repeating words, it's your direct hotline to the divine. A deep, intentional prayer isn't just a request, it's a command into the spiritual realm. When you speak with clarity, faith, and authority, dark energies can't stay. Pray over your body, your space, your mind, your relationships. Seal yourself in divine presence. Make it a daily habit, not for fear, but for alignment. Fasting. Fasting is not about starving your body, it's about feeding your spirit. When you fast, even for one day, you disconnect from the noise of the world and reconnect to your higher self. It sharpens your intuition, strengthens your inner voice, and weakens the grip of any toxic soul tie or influence. It's a sacred reset button that breaks invisible chains. Cord-cutting meditations. These are spiritual exercises where you visualize and command the release of energy ties with toxic people. Every person you interact with leaves energetic cords, especially those who try to control or drain you. In silence, imagine those cords, and with the light of divine power, cut them. Call back your energy, send theirs back. Do this often, especially after conflict or emotional exhaustion. Divine affirmations. Words create worlds. The more you speak truth over yourself, the stronger your spiritual armor becomes. Say aloud, I am covered in divine light. My energy is mine and sacred. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. These affirmations aren't just motivation. They seal your aura. The more you say them, the more they become a force field around your soul. Narcissists and dark spirits look for cracks in your energy field, fear, confusion, exhaustion. But when you build your spiritual shield through these tools, you become untouchable. Your peace cannot be stolen. Your mission cannot be delayed. Your light becomes too powerful to dim. These tools are not temporary hacks. They are lifelong weapons. Ancient, divine, and proven. Use them, live them, and walk boldly in the knowing that your energy is guarded by heaven itself. This isn't about ignoring them. This is about protecting your soul. When people hear the phrase no contact, they often think it's just cutting someone off, deleting a number, blocking a message, or staying silent. But for the spiritually awakened, no contact is much deeper. It's not just about removing a person from your phone, it's about removing their invisible grip on your energy. You see, narcissists don't just talk to you, they hook into you. Through their words, touch, emotions, and memories, they plant energetic cords that keep draining your life force, even when they're not physically around. That's why even after you leave, you can still feel tired, confused, guilty, or even pulled back toward them. That's because true detachment isn't physical, it's spiritual. Going no contact is one of the most powerful forms of spiritual warfare. It's not weakness, it's not running away, it's standing in your divine authority and declaring, my spirit is no longer available for manipulation. Every time you don't respond, every time you Resist the urge to explain yourself. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you are not just staying quiet, you are reclaiming your power. No contact creates space. Space for healing, for clarity, for God to move. It severs the cords they used to harvest your energy. It breaks the cycle they used to control you. And most of all, it sends a powerful message into the spiritual realm. This soul is off limits now. And yes, it's hard. Your soul was attached. Your empathy was used against you. They may try to bait you back with guilt, drama, or even apologies. But every time you stay silent, every time you stay firm, your spiritual shield grows stronger. They fed on your attention. They lived off your reactions. Without that energy, their illusion begins to collapse. They can't survive where they can't reach. No contact is not punishment, it's protection. Not silence, but sacred distance. Not avoidance, but awakening. The power of no contact is the power to finally breathe, to fully rise, and to live in the light of who you were always meant to be. Free, whole, and untouchable, because your energy is sacred, and it deserves daily protection. Every day, you walk through a world full of unseen energies. People's moods, intentions, and even unspoken thoughts can attach themselves to your aura, especially if you're sensitive, empathic, or spiritually open. That's why it's not enough to protect yourself only when things go wrong. You need to guard your energy daily, just like brushing your teeth or locking your doors at night. Here are simple, yet powerful rituals to shield your aura and keep your light untouchable. Energy cleansing. At the end of each day, take a few quiet moments to cleanse your field. Sit in stillness, close your eyes, breathe deeply. Now imagine all the heavy, dark, or unwanted energy falling off your body like dust. Say to yourself, I release what is not mine. I send all energy back to its source with peace. This helps reset your vibration and clears the energetic baggage others may have left behind. Salt baths. Salt is one of nature's oldest spiritual cleansers. A simple bath with sea salt, Epsom salt, or even pink Himalayan salt can work wonders. As you soak, imagine the salt drawing out negativity from your body and aura. Feel the tension and toxic energy melt away. It's more than relaxation, it's a ritual of release. Add essential oils like lavender or frankincense for an even deeper cleanse. Divine affirmations. Words have power, especially when spoken aloud with belief. Each morning or before sleep, affirm your spiritual strength. I am surrounded by divine light. My energy is mine, and only love may enter my space. My aura is sealed in peace and power. These daily declarations begin to train your energy to stay firm, protected, and aligned. Golden light visualization. Close your eyes and picture a bright golden light flowing from above your head, covering your entire body like a shield. See it wrapping around you, warm, strong, glowing. This light is divine, impenetrable, and alive. It blocks negativity, repels manipulation, and amplifies your inner peace. Imagine it before entering crowded places, difficult conversations, or even while scrolling online. These tools may feel simple, but their impact is spiritually massive. When used daily, they become your invisible armor. They help you stay grounded, centered, and unshakable, no matter who or what tries to touch your energy. You are not weak for needing protection. You are powerful for choosing it. Every ritual is a reminder that your energy is divine, and it's worth defending every single day. You are not the villain for choosing peace. If you've ever distanced yourself from someone who constantly made you feel drained, confused, anxious, or small and then felt guilty about it, you're not alone. That guilt you feel isn't proof that you did something wrong. It's a trap carefully laid by people who knew exactly how to use your empathy against you. This is especially true with narcissists. They are masters of emotional manipulation, and their most powerful tool isn't anger or control, it's guilt. You see, narcissists often target kind-hearted, spiritually sensitive souls, people who care deeply, love purely, and want to believe the best in others. These are the ones who try to fix what's broken, who give chance after chance, and who blame themselves before blaming others. That's you, the chosen one, the light bearer, the healer. But here's what narcissists do with your light. They feed off it. And when you finally begin to pull away, when your soul starts whispering, "This is not love, this is not safe, I need space," that's when they play their final card, guilt. They'll say you're abandoning them. They'll act like they're the victim. They'll twist stories to make you question your own heart. They might even cry or act broken just to pull you back in. The comeback. What happens when you take your energy back? This is when everything changes. When you return to you. At first, pulling away from a narcissist feels like standing in the ruins of something you thought was real. You may feel tired, confused, and even empty, like your light has been dimmed. But here's the truth the narcissist never wanted you to realize. Once you take your energy back, your life begins again. Your comeback isn't loud at first. It's quiet, subtle, a soft breath of relief, a peaceful silence you hadn't felt in years. It's waking up one day and noticing your mind isn't racing. It's sitting in stillness and feeling safe in your own energy again. When you break those invisible chains, emotional, mental, and spiritual, you open space for your true self to return. And that's when the comeback begins. Clarity returns. The fog lifts. All the confusion they created, the second guessing, the mental noise, the walking on eggshells, starts to vanish. You begin to see things and people for what they truly are. You realize how much of your energy was spent just surviving them. Now your mind clears like a sky after a storm. Creativity awakens. Your soul starts to speak again. Ideas begin to flow, art, writing, dreams, visions, new plans. Your creative spark, once smothered by their control, rises like fire from the ashes. You're not just recovering, you're becoming again. Health rebuilds. You notice your body healing. You sleep better. Your breath deepens. The headaches, chest tightness, and stomach knots fade. Why? Because stress and spiritual oppression live in the body. Once the source is removed, your body begins to rest, repair, and rise with you. Divine downloads flow. This is the part they feared most. Your connection to the divine becomes clearer than ever. The whispers of your intuition become louder, signs appear, synchronicities align, you feel guided again, you realize you never lost your connection. It was just drowned out by their noise. Now your soul hears again, and it's not whispering, it's roaring. Taking your energy back is not just healing, it's a spiritual revolution, because the same light they tried to use, manipulate, and dim is now fueling your return. This is your rebirth, your upgrade, your ascension. So when you feel the pull to go back, remember, you're not who you were anymore. You've remembered your worth, you've reclaimed your power, and you've tasted the peace that only comes when your energy is truly your own. Your comeback doesn't just restore what was taken, it reveals who you were meant to be all along. Unapologetic, untouchable, unstoppable. This is your time. This is your return. And the universe is already celebrating you. Chosen one. This battle is proof of your calling. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you carry divine power. If you've ever wondered why your life feels like a battlefield, why certain people keep trying to dim your light, drain your joy, or break your spirit, understand this: the battle is not a punishment, it's proof. You are a chosen one. You were born with something rare, a radiant, unshakable spirit that carries purpose, light, and truth. And in a world filled with illusion, manipulation, and spiritual blindness, your light exposes what others are trying to hide. That's why they come for you. That's why narcissists, manipulators, and energy leeches are magnetized to you. If you were empty, they wouldn't bother. If you were powerless, they wouldn't attack. But your energy is sacred. It shifts atmospheres. It awakens the sleeping. It disrupts darkness. And that makes you a threat, not just to individuals, but to the spiritual systems of control that thrive in shadows. The pattern isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. From a young age, you may have felt different, sensitive, observant, connected to things others couldn't see. You may have been the family scapegoat, the black sheep, or the one who always saw through the lies. And when you spoke truth, you were punished for it. You've been betrayed by those you loved the most, targeted by people who should have protected you, abused by those you trusted. And somehow, through it all, you still kept your heart open. This isn't weakness. This is warrior training. The repeated attacks weren't random. They were all part of your spiritual awakening. Every betrayal stripped illusions. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. Every loss made room for power you didn't know was already inside you. You are not broken. You are being forged. Your light draws. Both the broken and the demonic chosen ones carry healing energy. Your presence brings comfort. Your words bring clarity. Your touch brings peace. That's why the wounded cling to you. But here's the hidden truth. So do the dark ones. Narcissists don't just want your love. They want your life force. They want access to your light. Because without it, they feel empty and false. Your energy keeps their illusion alive. That's why they mimic you. That's why they flatter you, love bomb you, and then drain you. But when you start to wake up, when you reclaim your boundaries, your voice, your truth, they panic. Because without your energy, they lose power. This is not just emotional manipulation. This is spiritual warfare. You were chosen because you are strong enough to break it. The reason you've survived things others would have been destroyed by is because you carry a calling, a spiritual assignment, a purpose that is greater than the pain you've endured. And the enemy, whether you call it darkness, ego, or the narcissistic system, knows that if you ever rise fully into your power, you will set others free. That's why you're attacked. That's why you're isolated. That's why you're misunderstood, because you're dangerous to the forces that feed on fear, lies, and confusion. Your awakening threatens the entire structure of control, but you were chosen for this, not to suffer endlessly, but to transcend, transform, and shine brighter than ever. Every attack is a clue you are rising. Instead of asking, "Why me?" start asking, "What is this trying to stop me from becoming?" Because behind every battle is a breakthrough. Behind every manipulator is a mission. Behind every season of silence is a voice rising in power. You don't just survive these battles. You gain clarity, wisdom, and anointing through them. That's how you know you're chosen. You don't stay stuck in pain. You alchemize it. You turn it into purpose. You turn wounds into wisdom. You turn isolation into revelation. You're not just fighting for yourself. You're shifting generations. When you heal, you break cycles your ancestors couldn't. When you say no more, you build a future your children will thank you for. When you protect your energy, you remind others that their peace is sacred too. Your battle has always been bigger than you. That's why it's been so fierce. The proof is in the pressure. Think of gold, it's purified by fire. Think of diamonds, they're formed under extreme pressure. Think of stars, they shine brightest in darkness. You're not being broken, you're being revealed. So stop doubting your worth because of what you've been through. Start claiming your power because of what you survived. You are the proof. The battle is the evidence. And your comeback? It's already written in the heavens. You were never just another person. You were marked, protected, called. You are a chosen one, and everything trying to break you. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the war ends. Not because the attacks stop, but because your inner knowing becomes louder than the chaos around you. It's the moment you no longer beg for understanding, no longer explain your light, no longer shrink just to survive. You rise, you remember, you reclaim. That moment is now. For too long, you've been told you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too sensitive, too spiritual, too different. But what they called too much was simply your power unfiltered. What they couldn't handle was your truth shining in a world built on illusion. Narcissists, manipulators, energy thieves, they saw that brilliance in you before you even knew what it was. They tried to steal it, silence it, suppress it. But the truth is, your light is not theirs to touch. It never was. You are not broken. You are awakening. You are not crazy. You are seeing clearly. And you are not alone. You were chosen for a reason. Your energy was never meant to feed those who only take. Your love was never meant to heal those who refuse to grow. Your compassion was never meant to be a cage. Now you see the truth, and that truth sets you free. You see now that they weren't attracted to your weakness. They were drawn to your strength. They weren't feeding on your flaws. They were devouring your divinity. But the time for feeding is over. The days of being a silent well for the thirsty are done. You are no longer the source for those who refuse to create their own light. You are not their savior. You are not their solution. You are a mirror, reflecting the truth they cannot face, and a flame too holy to be dimmed. Every tear you cried was sacred water. Every time you stood up again was proof of your purpose, and every wound that bled now shines like gold. You are more than a survivor. You are a builder of realms, a guardian of energy, a voice for the silent, a soul with mission encoded in your very DNA. You carry light, not the kind that flickers in darkness, but the kind that exposes it. You speak with conviction because your soul remembers the truth. You walk with power because your ancestors paved this path. You are the result of generations of prayers, sacrifices, and divine orchestration. You are the answer to a call that was whispered